What if you were playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, did a Nuzlocke challenge, meaning after a Pokemon faints, you can't use it in battle anymore, but you could only use Pokemon that were traded to you from random people who are watching you play live on a YouTube livestream. They could trade you something really good to help you out, or something not so good to make you struggle. So make sure to like and subscribe, and let's load up the Switch with Pokemon Shield and see what happens in this trade-only Nuzlocke featuring you guys in my stream chat. After getting our starter, then catching our first 2 encounters, the game finally lets us connect online to trade. The way this works is I set a random link code each time I catch an encounter and match with some random person in chat who entered the same code. Sure, you could just wonder trade and get random Pokemon from that way, but this way gets viewers involved and they can either help or hurt the run to make it a bit more interesting. Last time I did this on Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, our first trade was pretty spectacular, and this time we get, oh, it's just a level 1 Krogunk. Not a bad Pokemon or anything, but nothing amazing since it's only level 1. Then we get a level 60 Hydreigon, which sounds amazing until you realize it won't obey us, followed by a level 60 Kingler, which also won't obey us. For our next 2 encounters, we finally get a usable Pokemon in a level 20 Axew, followed by a level 15 Pichu, that surprisingly has a better moveset than the Axew right now. And that was rather short-lived, as about 10 minutes after I get the Pichu, a Delibird from a random trainer, of all things, goes for present on Pichu and takes it out, making us lose our most usable Pokemon already. Losing our best Pokemon is pretty scary, but it's spooky season, and luckily today's sponsor, Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. have us covered for the season. First, we have this spooktacular snacking Tokyo Treat box that is limited edition for Halloween. We have sweet potato Kit Kats, yes, you heard that right, they're surprisingly good, and other Halloween themed goodies. My favorites were the mini monster candy strips that were sour strips of fruit flavored candy, and the Sakura gummy Halloween apple that is apple flavored and turns your tongue into a spooky flavor. There's lots of candy to enjoy in this Tokyo Treat box for the Halloween season, and if it's anything like the previous boxes, I know I'll like everything in them. And for Sakura Co., we have a more traditional fall theme with the Ibaraki Harvest box. This one includes fall-themed goodies from the Ibaraki Prefecture located northeast of Tokyo, and while the Tokyo Treat box focuses more on candy, the Sakura Co. box focuses more on snacks and tea. These snacks do pair nicely with the Ibaraki Sencha tea, which is a nice smooth green tea that I enjoyed having with the white peach cookies that also have a great peach aroma and flavor. I also really like the Masakado Senbai cracker. This was one of the first things I had to try because according to the booklet that explains what everything is in this box, it was named after the 10th century samurai Taira no Masakado, who is a symbol of strength and resistance in Japan. And also having a delicious snack named after you is pretty cool. Every Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. I've had have been fantastic, and you can use code PaPaSea and my link in the description for $5 off your own Tokyo Treat or Sakura Co. subscription. As we make it to Galar Mine number 1, we have a few more trades, including a Sobble, which is funny since the starter we ended up picking and trading away was also a Sobble. Then our final 2 encounters before we fight Milo were a Galarian Meowth that we trade for a Rowlet that is named Fortnite for some reason, and then a shiny Swablu named Cotton that looks like a chicken nugget. That Swablu will really come in handy since it has Peck and Milo's gym is grass-based. One of the junior trainers in his gym even has a Budew, and if you know, you know, then we fight Milo. I led with Swablu to take out his lead Gossifleur with some Pecks, then I stand on his Eldegoss as we both Dynamax and get huge and exchange some big attacks. Swablu really isn't doing as much damage as I would have liked to it, probably because it's a literal baby chicken nugget. So I switch into Axew to try to finish it off as the Dynamax turns expire, but Axew also doesn't do that much damage. So I just go into level 60 Kingler to bail us out, and after ignoring us for a couple of turns, it lands a hit and gives us the win. I don't really want to rely on these high level Pokemon that we get traded too much, especially this early on in the game, but after the gym we have one of the most important trades of the whole run, which is a shiny Porygon, which then of course evolves straight into Porygon 2. This is an immediate addition to the team as it's our best Pokemon right now. And then we get the gift Toxel and trade it to somebody in chat for a level 100 Rayquaza. Rowlet evolves, we dispatch Hop, then in Holberry we fish up a Magikarp that I just chuck a Master Ball at because we had one of those as one of the trade Pokemon was holding a Master Ball. And then we trade it for a second shiny Rayquaza that is named Budew. I bet you think you're so funny with that one, don't you? But at least Fortnite the Dartrick Vortex will come in handy for Nessa's water type gym, especially because it has Leaf Blade a lot earlier on than I would have expected. Her Max Dreadnought stood no chance to our free-to-play Battle Royale minigame featuring the likes of Ariana Grande, Goku, and Will Smith, going for 400% damage Leaf Blades, giving us our second gym badge. Now, while fighting Nessa, I made note of how she has an Arascuda, a Pokemon that I kind of forgot existed, and for some reason thought it was based off of a tuna, as if the name Barraskewda wasn't an obvious play on the words Barracuda and skewer put together. Chat did end up making fun of me for that one, thanks chat. And it was rather fitting since after picking up the next encounter and trading to somebody in chat, they offer us a shiny Arracuda nicknamed Tuna. And that right there is why I love doing trade-only runs like this. I don't know too much about this Pokemon, but it's apparently really fast and quite decent. The trio of Porygon 2, Fortnite, and now Tuna are very solid and quickly become fan favorites amongst viewers in the chat. I began to use Tuna a lot, then evolved into Barraskewda, or Big Tuna, and head on from this angle, it looks rather creepy, but at least we have it on our side and it's not against us. Right, Tuna? Now that we're in Motostoke, we can get dripped out, lay waste to Team Yell and Marnie, and prepare for Kabu's Fire-type gym, perfect for our brand new friend Tuna. We of course lead with Tuna against Kabu's Ninetales and kill it in one shot with Aqua Jet. On Arcanine, we get intimidated to lower our attack as Aqua Jet misses the KO, and then we take a Will-O-Wisp. I decide to send out Rayquaza here mainly just to stall out so we can heal Tuna's burn, but I just used the Rayquaza to take out Arcanine, or should I say try to use the Rayquaza to take out Arcanine because it just falls asleep on us and doesn't want to obey. Thanks Rayquaza. Surely I won't lose my level 100 shiny Rayquaza to a much lower level Pokemon again, right? A few more turns go by and we get burned, but Rayquaza finally obeys this time to take out Arcanine, allowing us to go back into Tuna on his ace Pokemon Centiskorch. As cool as Gmax Centiskorch is, you are no match for Big Tuna as we lay waste to Kabu and make him wish he never left Hoenn to come to Galar to be a gym leader. There's a few encounters we have after the gym that results in a few trades of Pokemon like Gallade named Pikachu and a Trolley Latias set that has Attract and Paralyzing strats. I do end up adding the Gallade to the team because I thought having a fighting type would be nice, but Gallade has no fighting moves. We're starting to make a ton of progress rather quickly, and I feel so confident that I begin talking about how I've been pretty good at Nuzlocke lately and don't lose Pokemon that much anymore. We have some lore at this point of the game, random battles, and an encounter that we trade for a shiny Ponyta named Horsey. I'm not sure if this is the same person each time, but there's someone in chat who seems to be trading me a lot of Pokemon that are just nicknamed other Pokemon's names. The Horsey, or Shiny Ponyta, is holding a Choice Band, so this is a solid addition to the team, and now our team is all Pokemon around the same level and no more overpowered legendaries or Pokemon that won't obey us. On our way to fight Allister in his rec center, Fortnite reaches his final form, turning into a Ghost type, which is rather appropriate for this Ghost type gym. Since Porygon 2 is a normal type Pokemon with the move Shadow Ball, it handles most of Allister's team very easily until his Gengar comes out. Porygon 2 got pretty low by this point, so I switch into Axew since it has a dark type move, then we both Dynamax. Gengar completely destroys Axew and one-shots it for the first death of our entire run, about 15 minutes after I said we wouldn't lose a Pokemon in this run during the livestream. Do we end up losing even more? Just wait and see, I guess. Someone in chat that has a big brain idea to send out Decidueye next to bait out a ghost move from the Gengar, then double into Porygon 2 to be immune to said ghost move since I ran out of potions here, and to also stall out the Dynamax turn. This works out great as we do just under half damage, then Gengar returns to normal, meaning the next hit will take it out for our 4th gym badge in this trade-only adventure. Bede then battles us again for whatever reason, and the fun part about these battles with Bede now is we now have pseudo honor battles between his Galarian Ponyta and our regular Ponyta, although ours is clearly superior. I then get another pivotal trade, which is a shiny Galarian Mr. Mime named DaBaby. I don't understand the nickname either, and new people that were popping into chat who didn't realize I was only using Pokemon traded to me from people in chat kept asking about the nickname too. Chat liked DaBaby so much that they wanted me to add it to the team, but our team was already full, so I lumped all of our team members into a bracket style poll to see who gets kicked off the team in favor of DaBaby. And just like that, they decided to kick off the shiny little chicken nugget, so sorry buddy. The gap between now and Opal's fairy type gym is rather small too, so we pick up the Eviolite for our Porygon 2 before heading into her gym, and we lead with our trusty Tuna in the fight. She leads with the Galarian Weezing, and my plan was to just focus on using Poison Jab on her Fairy type Pokemon, but that doesn't really fare well when half of her Fairy type team is Mawile, a part Steel type that's immune to poison, and Galarian Weezing, which is part poison and just neutral to poison. I use Aqua Jet on her Weezing as we get her first question wrong, lowering our stats. 3 Aqua Jets are enough to take out the Weezing though, as we then get poison, so I switch it to Horsea, or rather Rapidash since it evolved. And then she sends out Mawile. A Banded Flame Wheel through Intimidate just misses the one-hit KO, but she just wastes a turn and goes for Iron Defense, so we just knock her out on the following turn. On her Togekiss, I go into Porygon 2 and Discharge to take charge, then use our Rapidash and Smart Strike her Gigantamax Alcremie, and even though Choice Band doesn't work on Dynamaxed Pokemon, our Dynamaxed Rapidash still got the one-hit KO for Gym number 5, and oh baby do we feel alive. Our team is pretty much perfect, except for you, Gallade named Pikachu, since I haven't used you at all, so you'll probably be replaced soon. We make the trek up north and get some encounters that we trade for Pokemon that I don't end up using, and then we prepare to fight Melony. She is an Ice-type gym leader, much like Price, and I think there's another Ice-type gym leader in Pokemon, maybe in the 4th generation, I just can't remember them right now. I lead with Rapidash, take out her lead Frostmoth in one hit, then on her Galarian Darmanitan, we Flame Wheel for another one-hit KO. On Usice, I think it's Ice Q. I have no idea how to pronounce the name of this goofy little adorable penguin Pokemon, but it takes 2 hits to knock it out due to its ability that just shatters its head. Last up is her Ace Gigantamax Lapras that we can't stay in on with Rapidash, so I go into Porygon 2 as it tanks a hit from Lapras and takes it out after a couple of Max Lightnings. DeBaby evolves into Mr. Rime after this gym too, making it look slightly less creepy now. After the gym, we get another encounter in a Colossoil that we trade for a Barboach, but not just any Barboach, PaPaSea. This thing can really cut other Pokemon's lives into pieces if it's his last resort. It evolves in 1 level into Whiscash, an underrated Pokemon by the way, and we add it to the team to pair with Porygon 2, Fortnite, Rapidash, Tuna, and DeBaby. The main objective for right now is to fight Pierce, the Dark type specialist. I used pretty much the entire squad against his gym trainers and him, especially Whiscash against the gym trainers. The battle against him was rather unexciting, and we win rather convincingly, so let's just get the next encounter and trade it for a Matang that I don't even end up using, which also allows us to focus on the last gym. Raihan's gym is rather unique as it's all weather-based double battles, even in the 3 battles against his junior trainers. We abuse Whiscash in the water one, Rapidash in the fire one. Then I stress out about the hail one a bit, but Rapidash and DeBaby just one-shot both of their Pokemon, which was the easiest battle so far, allowing us to make way into Raihan. We lead with Fortnite and DeBaby on his Flygon and Gigalith as the Sandstorm approaches. Decidueye takes a crunch as Leaf Blade looks to be a 2-hit KO on the Gigalith, and then Flygon drops to a Freeze Dry from DeBaby. On Sandaconda, it don't want none of this Freeze Dry as we freeze it with Freeze Dry, then Leaf Blade the Gigalith a second time for the knockout. In comes Duraludon next, which is rather terrifying. Steel and Dragon is a very strong defensive typing that we can't do that much to, so I played a bit risky here by switching into Whiscash and leaving DeBaby in, so Raihan then Gigantamaxes his Duraludon and Max Steel spikes DeBaby to take it out. In hindsight, I don't really know why I took this risk, and this was chat's favorite Pokemon at the time, so we must avenge it as Sandaconda just stays frozen on the side. I Dynamax PaPaSea and hammer away at Duraludon with Max Quakes while Porygon 2 assists from the back with Icy Winds to try and also take out the Sandaconda, although it misses on Sandaconda, but does decent damage to Duraludon. These speed drops from Icy Wind also help a bit, as it gets to a point where Whiscash is finally faster than Duraludon, allowing us to finally take it out and avenge DeBaby for our 8th and final gym badge against Raihan. For our next trade, we're offered a shiny Politoed named Jeff, which I add to the team to replace DeBaby since it's a frog named Jeff. All that's left now is the final tournament, the battle against Leon, and some random lore stuff in between that really isn't explained very well in this game, but does give us another encounter. For Marnie, I lead with Rapidash and take out her Liepard as she just nasty plots, then we 2-shot her Scrafty after being hit with Intimidate. On our Toxicroak, I go into Wishcash to one-shot it with a super effective Earthquake, then go back into Rapidash to take out her Morpeko. I don't remember why I didn't just stay in with Wishcash, but it still worked out. Her Ace Grimmsnarl is sent out next, and I send out our pal Tuna. We both Dynamax, and since we have Poison Jab, we're able to hit for massive damage, resulting in an even more massive victory against Marnie. Second is Hob, who leads with his Dubwool, so I go right into Rapidash as it takes a hit very well and paralyzes us with Body Slam. We slowly take out the Dubwool, and then go into Decidueye on his Snorlax, which can't really do much to a Ghost-type Pokemon. Porygon 2 then discharges the Corviknight, takes out this Pokemon that should have just been a Galarian Pyukumuku, but whatever. Then for some reason, I decide to be risky and leave Porygon 2 in on his last Pokemon being Cinderace, which I know has a fighting move. We both Dynamax, and even though Cinderace goes for fighting moves, we tank them so well thanks to Eviolite, and whittle away at Cinderace with discharges to move on to the Rose Tower battles against Rose's Peons, then fight Oleana. We happen to match up really well against Oleana because our Pokemon are a bit over leveled since they're all traded to us. We have a physical grass move from Decidueye for her Milotic, then Wishcash for her Salazzle and Gigantamax Garbodor that were really no threat to us. Back to the tournament for now, sort of, as Bede interrupts us for a battle. He leads with his Mawile that gets taken out by Rapidash, then Tuna just Poison Jabs the next few members of his team, before going back into Rapidash for the pseudo honor battle against his Galarian Rapidash that we win decisively. On his Ace Hattern, I just forgot to Dynamax Rapidash even though I knew it was his last Pokemon. So he Dynamaxes, goes for a hit, and takes out our Rapidash. That was a really silly loss for us that could have probably been avoided if I had Dynamaxed myself, but Tuna does what Tuna does best, and that's bail us out and get us onto the next battle to defeat Bede. After Bede, we battle Nessa and her Water-type team that the duo of Porygon 2 and Decidueye can handle very well. Now aside from the battle against Bede, the battles here were rather uneventful, with us never really being in danger of losing a Pokemon, allowing us to get revenge on Allister for what he did to us earlier in the regular gym battle against him. Since we have that open party slot up, I just added Budew, the shiny Rayquaza, after these battles since chat wanted me to use it, and to nobody's surprise, having a shiny level 100 Rayquaza makes the fight against Chairman Rose very easy. There's then some more crazy lore stuff. We go to the Slumbering Weald where we have another encounter we traded for your mom. See some dogs, then fight Eternatus, which looks like it belongs in Stranger Things with its weird evil form. We catch it of course, then trade it for the final trade of the run, which very fittingly is a shiny Zacian. Now all that's left for us to handle is the final battle against the champion Leon, who if you didn't know is an undefeated champion by the way. He rarely reminds you of that in the game, and I feel like it's a pretty lesser known fact, and in the battle against him I led with Zacian to take out his lead Aegislash that did end up living a hit though. Then on his Haxorus, I decided to go into Tuna since I didn't want to just use Zacian the whole time, but instead Haxorus lives an Ice Fang from Tuna and one-shots Tuna with an Outrage. I then go back into Zacian to revenge kill Haxorus, then on Rhyperior, which looks massive in this game by the way, I'm able to take it out with Aqua Tails from Wishcash. On Rillaboom, a few Icy Winds from Porygon 2 makes it go boom, same for his Dragapult, that did end up paralyzing Porygon 2 though with Thunderbolt. And now Leon sends out his ace Pokemon Charizard, Gigantamaxes, and goes for Max Overgrowth on Porygon 2 for some reason. I just stayed in with Porygon 2 even though we're paralyzed, Dynamax, and break through enough paralyzed turns to land hits, take a few more Max Overgrowths, and just take out the Charizard, meaning we are now the champion of the Galar region. I really have no idea why his Charizard just went for Max Overgrowths there so much when Fire moves would have definitely taken out my Porygon 2 in the same amount of turns, but I guess we take those. Although this challenge run isn't really much of a challenge, so to say, it was still one of the most fun playthroughs I've ever done, largely thanks to the viewers in chat who made this possible and spent their time watching the run live and traded me some cool Pokemon to use, so thank you for that. I stream right here on YouTube, so if you ever want to join on the live streams, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss that live stream notification. I definitely do plan on doing more runs like this involving viewers, especially once Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out in a couple of months. We could even do these on some other games, perhaps even 3DS games. But with all that out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.